schizophrenic, you're a weirdo, you're high. Let's do an experiment. If I were to gather a colony of ants, scoop them up in a cup, lock the cup up, and I brought them to my house. Let's say for the past month I've been working at my house, I was working on an ant farm. Imagine I have a tarp on the ground, and I have a dome over it, a clear dome, and I have a bunch of ant stuff in there, stuff that ants do. I got food in there, I've got plants, whatever. Let's say I put a black tarp over that dome, and I put a light inside. So the ants can see there's light, but the tarp is covering from outside of the dome. So I got these ants from outside, like on the ground. I got these ants, and I dump them into my very own ant farm that I made at home. So I dump them in there, right? After a while, once those ants reproduce and have eggs, eventually the adults are going to die off, and the babies are going to be born into this colony. They're going to be born into this world that I created. I manipulated their environment, and I'm playing God. So now these new ants, after they've reproduced, the old ones died. These new ants, right? They're born into this dome. They think that's their world, is the dome, because they're babies. They've never seen the outside. They can't comprehend. Hypothetically, what if the ants could talk, right? But what if one of the ants was like, "Hey, there's a world that exists outside of this little environment that we're in. Like, there's a world that exists." All the other ants are like, "No, it's not. You're a liar. You're delusional. You don't see nothing else. This is it." Because think about it. How would they know? The ants was born into a foreign environment. They were just born into it. Remember, I got a tarp on the ground. I got an ant farm at home. Well, not really. I'm just hypothetically. Imagine if I put a clear dome over it. I got an ant farm. I put a dome over it, and then I put a light in it, and I put a bunch of ant stuff, and then I put a black tarp over the dome. So the ants, you know what I'm saying, they can't see nothing from the outside. The adults might know, something's up. This ain't like my old environment. But when the adults have babies and the eggs are born and the eggs are hatched, eventually generations and generations and generations, they're just born into the ant colony or the ant farm that I made, by the way. And they think that's their God. They think that's it. Because how would they know something outside of that exists? They've never seen it, never heard of it. Take that and apply it to us. When I say black people used to be able to fly, black people, bro, there is knowledge outside of this dome called Earth that we live on. They're hiding it. Me and you were born into this shit. We were born into the dome that they're hiding information from the outside. Think about it. When I say black people